Welcome to Java. It's November 22nd, 2024, and it is also Friday. Now, is it a false flag Friday? We'll have a little discussion on that. There is quite a bit to cover today, so hopefully you've got some hot Java and a few minutes to spare so you can listen in and see what we can prepare for, not just for this day, but also a little bit forward in the weekend. It's not likely that I will be doing a normal video for Sunday. I've got a few other things that I'm working on in the background to kind of help us move forward in a little bit, as well as with our Discord. So, with this, let's go into what's starting off with this morning. Now, our MMRI favored risk indicator, of course, is rising. 293.2 at the moment. Now, what is this on? Look at the dollar, the relative dollar strength now above 107.32. This is not really a good thing as far as the overall global markets. This means that while the United States can purchase other goods and pay down, say, trade deficits, for instance, with less US dollars, it does create some other ripples in the background. And the first of which is the question of why is this happening? So we'll get there in a moment. We've also got the 10-year yield pretty much steady, so that one is holding the risk, rising. There is also much more greed coming into the markets, as you can see here. We're up now at 58, clearly in the greed territory. So that is major factor of that as well. Now, with all of this cryptocurrency still going higher, Bitcoin heading towards that $100,000 level. Now, quick word on that is that $100,000 level for Bitcoin is major psychological level. Now, it could serve as a resistance level, but this is an all-time high, new territory. It could blow past that, take a brief pause, reject it, and go lower. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I am not personally shorting Bitcoin because there are a lot of underlying dynamics that I believe in the long run it's going to continue past 100,000. Just be aware that it might have a pullback at that point or shortly before. So with this, we've got a calendar for today. We're getting PMI, some more inflation numbers and consumer sentiment, and then of course, Fed president speaking to kind of patch things together if necessary. Now, back to the cryptocurrency, we had XRP boom, and this is with it's been under a few court cases as well as regulatory pressures. So that lifted, it's not necessarily to do with the coin itself, but rather the environment. So that is just a good representation of what we can look forward to with the lowering of regulations with the other coins, bitcoins, cryptocurrencies moving forward. We are moving towards digital system, and this is the first major step in that direction. Now looking at our stocks pre-market at the moment, it's just kind of just beginning, but it's looking to be in the green. And this again is kind of like currency this morning as far as the US stock markets. It is relative to the other markets and what is going on. Now, right now in the green, but we're watching also the futures are not looking as good. So yesterday was quite a bit of chop and ended up towards neutral at the end of the day, all being said and done. Today, expecting much volatility. So a lot of volatility going into the weekend. We've got a short holiday week next week. Now, a lot of traders take off at this time, particularly institutions. So if there's going to be any volume, it will be the first 3 days and then drop off towards Tuesday evening, Wednesday afternoon of the trading periods. And what does this mean? Well, next week holiday means short week is lower volume. That means that the moves can be much more volatile and rapid. So caution next week, but if you're going to be trading, I will be in for next week. I just might not make it Monday. So we'll see a holiday week, but I'm working on other things. So sentiment followed through. We had Gap stores, which is major retailer in the United States, following the lead of not just Target but also Walmart, saying that the general consumer is weak. And now they're doing well on their earnings because it is higher class that are now shopping the discount in relative stores. So this is not really a good sign, as I spoke about yesterday. Now, we had this morning this relative trade with the stock markets, Japan with inflation hot. So we're still looking at more unwinds on this carry trade. A lot of people have discounted and completely forgot about this, which I believe is a major mistake. We're watching major currency flows with a lot of these things. Now, we've got some people that have been watching this for a long time, but their problem, in my opinion, is that they are too US centric. They are looking only at the United States stock market, discounting foreign currencies and foreign trade. And now we're very much watching that come into play. Now, all of this on the backdrop of the war and what is going on with that, the volatility will increase throughout today. The two major hours to watch are the first opening hour with the volume, as well as the last hour of the day or hour and a half while the market is open. You'll see the larger moves. So, with that, I wish you luck trading. Got a few more stories that I'd like to put on watch. The first is that Bloomberg is now carrying this story, talking about the dollar set for its longest run of weekly gains, more than a year. It's actually a bit longer than that. But they're blaming escalating geopolitical tensions, boosting demand for the haven currency. My opinion, that's not 100% correct. It is also the relative strength of the other currencies plummeting as they're experiencing inflation and a carry on of the Trump trade. So, not so much safe haven as far as the trade of the market, believing that the Trump administration, the cuts to the deficits might go through. So, with this, we've also got China, their banking system now having issues from their old practices. Now, I was speaking about their main bank having billions in debt revealed, and now they're saying the misuse of loans and ongoing real estate crisis. But what it boils down to is that China affecting the yen, and this again playing into the same thing with the strength of that dollar spiking right now. And it's spiking more than a very comfortable amount, I'll just put it that way. So we've got things could have hardly turned out much worse. This is the economist on the Eurozone economy. And going along with this, they're saying the flash Eurozone composite purchase index fell to a 10-month low in November. And now the worst part is this. Eurozone private sector unexpectedly slips into contraction. Really? Unexpectedly, really? You can't look at all of these things going on and say that they didn't expect that. They don't have their eyes open or they're watching too much mainstream media because it's been very clear and we've been speaking about this. So, but this is a reporter, hopefully not just a analyst. So, following the loss since 2022 as bets on the ECB rate cuts surge because they've got to do something for their economy. Now, as I was saying, this is the Gap trade saying that really we've got a rotation happening in their customers. And what that means is that the crush is rising. It's rising up to the next level. So what's happening now with China? They're attempting to boost their exports further because their economy is hurting. So now with all of this, the global demand is dropping. They're putting on tariffs and they're getting upset about China flooding the markets with less expensive goods, meaning no one is purchasing domestic goods. Now, this dark spiral that can lead to global recession. So we've really got to watch this. So as I was saying, over in the side of Japan, traders are setting the stage for another bruising unwind of the yen carry trade. As I said, it's not done yet. So, yes, at any time, if they decide to get into this market to dump more United States debt, which it appears that they very well may be doing between yesterday and today, that could affect markets as well. Now, jumping over to Canada, reeling under massive food crisis, they've got 25% of parents are reporting that they're eating less in order to have enough food for the children. So, good job, Trudeau. Really taking care of your people. Not really, I'm being sarcastic. Okay, so the Salvation Army, they're a non-profit charity organization. They did a survey, and so it may be a little bit slanted because they are in a sector where more people would be struggling. They're saying that more Canadian parents facing disproportionate challenges in relation to the cost of living. Now, that seems to go along with what we're seeing among the other expenditures and inflation there. So just one more country kind of going down the tubes, if you will. Now, with all of this, we know this is heading towards the cryptocurrency that they all want to move to the digital system for central banks. So with this, we've got MasterCard and JP Morgan integrating blockchain payment solutions. So they're going to make it easy to go on to their payment rails. At first, they make it easy. They get in as many as they can. Then they drag in those that have a bit of a need for it. And then at the very last, they get desperate and make it mandatory for the following for the rest. So we've got to be outside of the system before that happens. That's my main reason for being here. So with this, I want to speak a little bit about these geopolitical issues that are causing all of these problems, if you will, in the first place, and a lot of the unrest. Now, Russia launched a new hypersonic missile, escalating the conflict and sending it as a warning for NATO. Now, I spoke about this yesterday because this happened a while before. Is nuclear payload capable? And this was to send a message. And it's not that I'm making that up, but Putin directly said from his desk that it was sent as a message. And he is basically letting them know that they need to back off. So they are calling it, they have a name for it, the Oreshnik hypersonic ballistic missile. And we've got Lukyanov saying that current administration can say exactly who, because he's pretty much asleep at the wheel. I don't think it's him necessarily, but trying to throw the incoming administration under the Ukrainian bus. I agree with that. So the White House recognizes that negotiations to end the conflict are inevitable, but they want to delay this. Why do they want to delay it is the question. And it is so that they can inflate more and more, cost more billions going towards this war. They've already announced 127 million more in the last days, and they're trying to write off the loans. We know this. So with all of this going on, we've got Iran, the back-acting player, saying that they're activating their advanced centrifuges after they were shut down. Now, nuclear watchdog, the IAEA, were slamming Iran for failing to cooperate. Well, we knew they would do this anyway. Now, Iran and Russia are the main holders of refined uranium, and they are no longer sending to the United States. Well, it could be used for two things, weaponry and energy. And the large clean energy that a lot of Western Europe and America are relying on does come from this sector. Okay, a couple of more quick mentions I would like to say is a huge gold deposit discovered in China. Now, China is already the largest producer of gold by physical mining, and they're saying that this current find is over 1,000 tons. So that's almost half what they own in their reserve right now. So they are the world leading gold producer, accounting for 10% global output 2023, and this is from the World Gold Council. So what does this mean? The BRICS can be set up between these two with not just oil, but also uranium. I believe energy will be the backing for their move forward. And now we've got gold as well. Russia is also one of the largest producers of diamonds, and they've said that would be in the basket. So with all of this holiday week coming forward, I'm going to miss you until I see you again. So might be Tuesday. I'm going to try my best to be on prior to that, with an actual market video, not just other help videos. But with that, I wish you all a wonderful day. Thank you all very kindly for everything you have done. If you would please like the video, and until I see you again, my friends, stay bright.